One more to get. Okay, we will call the Green Bay Sex Offender Residency Board to order. We'll take roll call.
I have captured that everyone is present and voting.
Okay. I need an approval of the agenda for today's meeting, or should I make?
Probably a motion to amend.
Yeah. Yeah, if we could get a motion to amend our agenda, and we are going to be eliminating number 2, the appeal of Kenneth Wallace. He has withdrawn his application.
I motion that we withdraw Kenneth Wallace.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye? Aye.
Aye.
All right, then we need a motion to approve as amended.
Okay, then we'll need a motion to
I
approve the
motion
amendment.
that we approve the agenda as amended without Kenneth Wallace.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, then if I can get an approval of the minutes from the January 15th, 2025 meeting?
Motion approved.
Second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, all right, the first regular order of business is the appeal of Rogelio Perez, requesting to move to 1629 Wolverine Trail. Mr. Perez, you're appearing via Zoom?
Yes,
Okay, and this is your first time before the board, is that correct?
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so we're going to ask you a series of questions. One of the first questions that we're probably going to go into is to have you tell us what you were convicted of. And when you talk about that, we don't want you to mention the victim by name or relationship. And then, yeah, we'll start with that.
Okay, well, in 2018, I was getting convicted and prosecuted about third-degree rape, and on May 7th of 2019, I pled guilty to the charge only if Tony Portrait pronounced my suspended imposition of sentence and placed me on probation for 5 years.
No, that doesn't really tell me much. When I say that we want you to tell us about the offense, what happened? Did you know the victim? What were the circumstances? How did the police get involved?
Well, I was at home, having sex with her, and, she stayed the night there for, I believe, it was like 2 nights, and, she had a friend with her. I really didn't know her for a long time. But the victim, I knew her for a long time, for months. I went to school with her. I went to class with her. And we just fell in love and stuff. And the police was trying to find her, so the police came and took her. And afterwards, the police came back to the house after staying the night there for 2 days. She was a female cop. I really don't know her name. She was telling me that I had to go to court for something that I had no idea that existed. I got arrested afterwards because I really don't know what afterwards it was, the reasons for it, but the victim someone saying that she didn't want to press charges on me, that she didn't want to, nothing to do with it. She was sending me letters to the mail, and I had to appear with Tony Potra, the judge. And she refused, I remember in the letter she told me that she refused to do a sexual, like, DNA in her mouth or something, that she didn't want to take anything of, any case of her being a trial or being convicted, me being convicted of it, of a charge like this. And she felt really sad that I was going to go through all this going to jail for it and going to trial and court for this. I really don't know what else to say or about this, but
How old were you?
I barely turned 18. I was like about 17, 18 years old.
Did you know she was 15?
She told me that she was 16 or 15 or something like that.
Did someone else force her to press the charges or pursue the charges?
No, I don't. No, the reason I believe, because she told me that all this happened is because her friend told the cops that I was doing things with her, and I don't remember her seeing me doing anything. And I remember that she was testifying or giving my attorney information, the victim, that she didn't want to press charges, and I had my biological father as a witness to in court because I was living with him in that time, and that's the only family member I have over here.
Why were the police looking for the girl that was at your house?
Because she escaped from NBC or something like that. It's like an orphanage, or can't pronounce it. Orphanage or something like that. Or there's other names that could be called that, but it was a placement where kids around like 16, 15, 14 were placed there, family issues and stuff like that, something like that.
And then did you take it to trial, or what happened?
I was trying to take it to trial at the Supreme Court, but they gave me some other stuff. I had my dad's support. I wanted to take the trial and beat it and win the case, but I did something else. I took probation, and I was in probation for almost 2.5 years in probation until they took my probation away.
And why'd they take it away?
Because I remember it was like, I was getting charged in court and for harassment or something like that, or not, domestic violence. I remember it was in Huron, and also I was drinking alcohol at that time. I was found in PBT drinking alcohol for a couple of times, but I was trying to quit and try to like get away from the drugs and alcohol. I didn't want to do more of that, and I was trying my drink, because I was gonna have a baby, and, I had a girlfriend, and I was trying to plan a good future. But that really didn't turn out really well, so I went to court for those things up here, and I didn't miss it or nothing else, just in time. I went to court, those documents got dismissed because I really don't know who it was who charged me of this, but the judge dismissed it in hearing, and afterwards I had to see another judge for this.
Okay, I don't think you have to keep telling us any more of that.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I don't know, Captain Oberman, were you able to get any kind of information from South Dakota regarding this?
I don't have a criminal complaint. I have what looks like a real basic police report.
Would that be the
I mean,
same?
his description of the story is pretty accurate. These two juveniles were runaways, and they ended up at his residence. It seems like from the police report, both indicated that they were dating, but he would have been an adult. She would have been a 15-year-old at the time. Both admitted to intercourse and sexual contact. So I can't say why the court's charging him and what the end result of that is. I can only kind of brief the police report.
Okay, thank you. Rogelio, on your application, you put that you were sentenced to 10 years with 2 years supervision. And then you also stated on here that your expected release date from prison is November 12th of 2024. Obviously, we're past that date, so when are you scheduled to be released from prison?
My flat date is, I believe it is 2020, around 2028, my flat date is.
But he is able to leave whenever we do find him a residence.
Yeah.
There's just been some hang up with finding him an appropriate address and trying to get him to Wisconsin.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, and so if the board would approve you to this address, are you transferring and your probation here to Brown County?
Yeah, that's
In Brown County,
what
Wisconsin?
oh,
Yeah, he would be on parole then in Wisconsin.
All right,
give him that information, yeah, and do that.
okay. Does the board have any questions regarding his offense?
I have no more questions.
Okay. Rogelio, you have the option, when we want to talk about any treatment that you may have received, to do that in closed session, or we would remain in public session. Do you have a preference?
No, it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then we're going to remain in public session. Attached to your packet, dated February 7th, we received a letter from the Sex Offender Management Program at the Department of Corrections in South Dakota, basically saying that, you know, you completed the class while you were in the institution. So could you tell us what you kind of learned about that class?
Which one is it, the cognitive?
Something.
The sex offender.
Program, I learned quite a few things. I learned about like animal porn, people that were situations different from mine, that were getting accused of that, their fantasies, their sexual life was really different from mine. They were like more deviant from mine, and I got to reflect that there's worse people than I am, like deviant ways, like sexual ways, but I got to learn a lot about myself, like, and other people, and telling other people the that they don't see about myself to them or something like that. And I had to see other people.
Okay, I kind of want to know, like, what did they talk to you about, or what did you learn about why maybe it was inappropriate for you to have this sexual relationship with this 15-year-old? Was that covered in your treatment?
It probably was, but I can't remember really that day. But I remember him talking about what preference in sex that I had. Obviously female, attracted to, and same age as me.
Did they teach you anything about, like, maybe moving forward, what type of relationships you should be looking for?
Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries,
What you might do
triggers.
differently?
Yes, they have risky situations, setting a good goal, short-term goals, long-term goals. Yes, they did talk about that.
And that's what I'm asking. What did you learn from that? That you can take forward to basically say, this is never going to happen again?
Probably applying it, what they're teaching me, and moving forward, and not looking back.
And what are you gonna do to apply what you learned to make sure that you're safe when you are in the community?
Well, all I have learned that I know I'm not a really sexual person, and I don't have sex every day, and I've been applying this for 3 or 4 years when I've been in prison. I've been not getting into sexual relationships, or I've not been charged of L9 in prison. It means I don't want to get charged of an L9 or get involved in any awful or clean sexual activity in prison. Those are my intentions, and those are my future intentions. And I try to follow the rules every day when I'm here. And I'm not a bad person, so it's just the way they judged me in court was different.
Okay.
And it was for me. And I'm just like a really start. And I've learned to have appropriate sexual relationships with people, and I worry about my sexual wellness too, and freedom of sex, having sex. But sometimes it's good to have boundaries, and I've learned that, and that's what I plan to do.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I just have another question, because on your application, you did put this CBISA under the alcohol. Do you have a problem with drugs or alcohol?
Not anymore, but I had in the past, yeah.
With which ones?
Drugs, alcohol, you can name it. I took a lot of things that it's not affecting me because I've been sober for a while, and my body has healed from all that stuff that I did. But I've recovered from it, and I want to move on from it. I don't want to look back. I just want to think sort of how I've been doing it in prison. I want to do it when I'm out there. And when I get released, if I don't get it, my parole, or when I get my sentence time is done here, that's my plans to do, to be sober, just like I am doing it here.
Okay. How long have you been sober?
For 4 years, going 5,
And how long have you been incarcerated?
for roughly 3 years, 4 years, going to 4, because 2022, around like 2021, the last month, that's when I came in.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions about his treatments?
I just want to,
Yeah.
have you ever lived here in Green Bay?
Yeah, my whole life. I moved from Green Bay when I was 17. I did most of my high school over there. I did mostly all my middle school, elementary, and growing up. I was in Bay Beach. I did activities with my friends. I got to see Clay Matthews. I worked with, not worked with him, but I seen him go to eat at Chives and Rogers when he was there.
Okay, thank you.
It was a fun experience,
Thank you.
good memories.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if we talk about where he's living and what that situation will be, or is that?
Sure, you can ask those questions.
So, what is your plan for a living situation when you come to Green Bay?
I want to be in a safe environment, rehabilitated environment where people don't use a lot of drugs and nothing like that, boundaries. Get to see my daughter once in a while and my girl.
And who will you be living with, or where will you be living?
With my mother, with my mom, and then over time I want to get my own place.
And do you have plans for employment?
And what?
Do you have plans for employment when you come to Green Bay?
Yes, my mother, she told me that there's quite a few jobs where she works at, and I have other family members that have jobs over there, so like my cousins, relatives, so I can get hired. And my mother and family were going to provide for me transportation, they're going to help me with my insurance, to get insurance back, my insurance, medical. I want to see my personal doctor again over there when I get over there. I want to try to get my license too. That's one of the important things, and other licenses. And try to have family members watch for me, my health, and to make me a better person, not to reoffend, because those people are really good at what they do, because they've not been in trouble with the law or nothing, so it seems like a good people to be around with my family, my relatives that live over there in Green Bay. Some of them live like in Oshkosh, Appleton, Sheboygan or something like that, it's called over there. So they're all spread out like 3 or 4 hours away or an hour away from
Can I ask, are you reading from something? Like,
Yeah, I'm reading from my paper here.
and what is that paper? Like, did someone provide you information to say, or?
No, it's from my words to yours. It's just the paper here that you guys gave me. You guys said to be prepared to describe my offense, be prepared to describe my treatment act. So I did a little bit of everything in this paper to help me out.
Okay,
So those are your notes that you took to
Yeah.
remind yourself
Yeah.
when you're talking to us?
Yeah.
okay. All right, any more questions? Okay, do you have somebody here to speak on your behalf?
Yeah, I believe my sister.
Okay,
Jessica?
yeah, okay, if you could please come up to the podium.
Yes.
And then we just need you to state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay.
Okay, come on.
My name is Jessica Aguilar, and I live in 1629 Wolverine Trail, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay, and this is your brother?
Yes, he is.
Okay, what would you like to tell us about your brother?
Okay. I wanted to say that first. We do understand that what he did was wrong, and like the certain situations with him. And also, I wanted to stay with me and my mother that this has never happened when he was living with us. And this started after he started living with my dad, you know? So that's why we want him to come back to us, because we miss him, you know? And he's very dear to us.
Okay. Have you had much contact with him while he's been incarcerated?
No, once in a while, but I am very busy too. I've been going to school and I have work, you know, and I'm also in the military.
Okay. Okay. Any questions for her?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And did you also want to speak?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Rogelio, this is the board's opportunity right now to kind of discuss, to see how we feel about you moving to 1629 Wolverine Trail.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, I have some reservations. First of all, I typically do not like to approve somebody, especially from another state, to come here to our community just because we have our own offenders here in town that we need to kind of take care of.
Yes, sir.
So that's one of always my first concerns. My other concern is I really feel that you've minimized the entire situation. You've minimized your treatment that you've received. I'm not really quite sure that you really learned anything from treatment, just hearing what you've had to say today. But that is just my opinion. We have an entire board here. So if anyone has anything they'd like to.
I've been, sorry, it was a lot of anxiety. This is my first time, so it was all new to me, so.
Fine.
I understand that.
So I agree with Heidi. I have some problems having somebody come from South Dakota. Here, we have no problems finding housing for people that we have that are natives to our area. Although he did live here, but he moved. And I agree with the minimization, like this whole thing about the girl that was victimized, testified against him being, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that's me. You guys have anything?
I guess the part about it being a consensual relationship, I find in your favor, and living with your family is probably the best place that you can be living if you're looking at a situation, because you have someone there for support and to try to get you back into the community. I also agree that I don't like people coming from out of state because we have enough of our own problems.
And I'm kind of sharing that same feeling about coming from out of state. However, I'm kind of looking at it from a little different direction, that if you were coming into a more stable environment, it may assist you in the future to not reoffend. And I also was sharing the concerns about the minimalization. Can I just ask one question about that is that okay?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I wanted to know, like you said, you went to school here. Did you graduate from high school?
No, I didn't have the chance because it was junior year. I remember my parents told me that I had to pack my stuff up and leave state to live with my father over here. So I didn't get a chance to graduate over there. It was really difficult for me because I was moving everywhere. So
Did you graduate from high school anywhere?
No, I did, but I made it till 12th grade though, and I dropped out when I was 18.
GED.
I'm trying to get my GED. I only have one last test here. It's my language arts test, and I get my GED. I passed my science, my history, and my my math test. I mean.
Well, that's good. Thank you for answering that for me.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who would want to make a motion?
Move to deny.
Is there a second? I will second it. All right, so we'll take a vote. So right now, the vote is to deny. All in favor for denying, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
What was your vote? To deny or approve?
To approve.
Approve the motion?
Approve the motion?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so is
So
it a
to
3
deny
or
it,
2?
yes. No, it's,
Okay, let's try this one more
okay,
time.
I
Okay,
apologize.
the motion on the table is to deny
Thank you.
Rogelio to reside at 1620 Wolverine Trail. All in favor for that? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed? Nay.
Okay,
Okay, so 3 to 2?
correct.
So, okay, Rogelio, at this time, you are denied to reside at that residence. Now,
Okay.
that is not to say that you can't come back before the board if there's something that changes, or you come up with a different address, but you would need to come back before us at that time.
Alright,
And you kind of heard our reasonings. So keep that in mind if you decide to come back.
yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Nope, that's okay, because sometimes when we say that, it's a little bit difficult. Okay, the next order of business is the appeal of Tommy Rhodes, requesting to move to 617 Bodart Street. Come on up. All right, and Tommy, you have been here several times, correct?
No, this is my third time in history that I've been here.
Okay, well, that's several.
Over 30 years.
Sure, okay, that's good, though.
Not
I mean,
several, just
okay,
3.
3 times,
This is the
okay.
third time.
So the last time you were here was in July of '24, and we approved you to reside at 828 Mather Street.
Yes.
And why at this point are you trying to move?
Just, I want to get into a better environment and, just pick up the pieces, you know what I mean?
Okay,
And,
all right. Before we do go any further,
Yes.
we do have some new board members who have not been here when you have given us, your story. I'm not sure if you read the previous times that he was here, or if you would prefer that he tell his story again. I will leave that up to you guys.
I'd prefer that you tell your story again, just so I can get it firsthand from you and not from the writing, if that's okay.
good.
So before you do that, remember, we don't want you to state the victim by name or relationship.
Okay.
Okay? Go
All
ahead.
right. So I was just at a party and I was invited and we went downstairs and there was a blanket and we were both in the room and, I took her clothes off, she took my clothes off and she laid on the bed and, on the floor, I got on top of her and kind of put it in and she said, stop. And I asked her what was wrong and she said that she was a virgin. So then I got off of her and got dressed and put my clothes on and she ran upstairs and there you have it. And, I think about it and I've been dealing with this over 30 years and it's been haunting me and I went through treatment. I successfully passed it, no problems. I also lived across the street from Washington Middle School for 15 years. Never had a problem. Right down the road from Joanne's too. I guess I was the first one to go on the news to get the place because I wanted a second chance. I wanted to, again, pick up the pieces. So, I'm very remorseful for what's happened because this has taken a toll on my life to where I'm mentally ill. I'm actually have to take medication because I've been going through this so long. Not saying I'm the victim here, but I have mental problems because of all this that's happened in my life. And I have a doctor at the Brown County Mental Health Center. I got to take medication, so I'm following all the rules. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm keeping myself clean. I really don't, after all these years, it's like, I still don't really know who I am because it's like, There was just one time in my life I made a mistake, and I look at today, and it's like, I didn't really make anything of my life. So I feel like I kind of failed myself in that aspect. So that's kind of haunting me. And, you know, I mean, but the thing is I learned a great deal out of all this because I made a mistake, and from learning from everything I've been through, and the treatment, and the doctors that I've seen at Kettle Moraine, and everything, just getting through all that, and then, you know, being on parole, coming out on parole, I was on parole, I had 2 parole officers, believe it or not. I had one for this new sex offender thing they were coming out with, and then I had one for medications. So I had one coming over to the bracelet place, because that's where they first put me. So, and, you know, I mean, I've lived in a cockroach building when I got out. Nobody wanted to even give me, nobody wanted to give me a chance. Even when I got out of prison in '97, it was like I had to move, because after I got off parole, it was like I was pretty much, you know, they didn't have all these rules they have now. But even then, it was like nobody was, we're not, you know, if you want to move here, there's bugs. Okay, so I moved there. I managed to get through that. So I've lived with the bed bugs and the bed bugs and the cockroaches, and I've been through it all. And, you know, it's a blessing that, you know, I'm able to say that I haven't gotten in any trouble in over 31 years. And,
So how long were you in the transitional living facility?
oh geez, probably, when I got out in '97, it was just for the time I was on parole. But the thing is I gotta take that back. I did go back to prison, because I did cut the bracelet off. Yeah, I actually landed a job at PDQ Car Wash, and I got in an argument with a Packer player. So I went home and I was mad, you know, and I cut the bracelet off and I took off. So when they caught me, I didn't catch another charge, but they put me right back in prison again. So I went back there, but there was no charge. It was just
Revoked.
yeah. So I thought at that time they were gonna give me an ATR, which is an alternative revocation, you know, and they didn't. They sent my greens right to the old jail. They didn't have this new jail over here. I never even been there. I mean, I visited somebody there, but I've never actually been in no trouble, so,
Okay.
you know.
And so then in the 30 years since you were convicted,
Yes.
there's been no other criminal activity other than cutting
I got caught with some pot, but they didn't put me in jail, they just gave me a fine. I never had the handcuffs on me since 1993. That's the last time I had handcuffs on me.
You would have record if there was more arrests, just so you know.
2008 was the marijuana charge, and it was a misdemeanor, and I did not go to jail. It was just a fine. And since I went to treatment, and I brought all the treatment letters from all the treatments that I went to, I brought it to the judge, and I gave it to the judge, and I got a fine out of it and no probation.
Okay.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah, you know, you've been
Actually, I have more
here.
questions yet.
Oh, you do, okay.
So the living situation that you're in now versus where you're going, you said you just needed to change. Are you living alone? Are you moving out from someone? Or
Living alone.
And I think I read someplace you were going to a hotel.
Yeah, I guess it's a hotel. It's not it's like if you do something wrong, they can literally just kick you out and you gotta go. There's no 30 days. I guess because they're called innkeepers, it's different than a landlord. So I'm on my best behavior, so
it's like
know that.
it's like a rooming house?
Yes.
is
Yes,
my
ma'am.
understanding?
From Jill's Bar.
Yes.
I'm done with my question.
Okay, that's okay.
And this, you would have would it be like a separate living space where you'd have your own bathroom and stuff like that?
Well,
or
we
would
share
you
a bathroom. We share a bathroom, ma'am. The toilet and the shower, that's, it's, everybody gets to, it's the only place that'll accept me. After even all these years, it's like I really have a hard time trying to find a place to live. No housing, no energy assistance, no Section 8, no HUD, no nothing, just, it's a blessing that I found this place. Otherwise, I probably would have had to go back to Lakewood, Wisconsin, and I didn't want to.
Well, as you've said, 3 times you've been here. All 3 times we have approved you for the addresses that you have requested. I don't really have a concern. Do you have somebody that wants to speak on your
I don't
behalf?
know
I
if you
know the
wanted to
last
speak
time
for
you
me
did.
or not. Showed up here, do you want to say anything about me?
I guess.
Okay, I guess he wants to say something.
Okay, sure. You just need to state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michael LaCroix. I live over at 1330 Packerland Drive, 04, across from Southwest High School. So I'm honored to be here there before all of you. I've known Mr. Rhodes for, I don't know, give or take 10 years. I really sympathize with his living arrangements. Yeah, he's a good guy, and I'm a little bashful, so bear with me. So he told me that that his current living situations, that where he had to move out, and that there was, I have a friend of mine that lived just across the street from where he's currently living at now, there by Salvation Army, Norwood and Mather. And my friend was intrigued, liked him, liked what Tommy and I had to say. And I'm very good friends with my buddy there, so he was going to take him in. Then his stipulation there, my friend's landlord had concerns, grave ones, and so he denied my friend to have him staying with him for a little while. So I gave him the bad news that he couldn't move in there. Oh, that was like last week on a Wednesday. And now I told him that bad news at the Salvation Army. We're having lunch, so I told him I'm sorry. It fell through. And then I dropped him off at home. And then I was on my way to do my thing. And I have a friend right now that's living over at the rooming house, Jill's. He's been there for like 7 years, so I got him in there. And he's still there. He's very content. He's very happy. And he's even going to school. So anyway, I was on Main, and I saw Jill's. Oh, let's go over there and see if maybe there could be some luck. And so I saw the innkeeper, and I told him of Tommy's situation. And he had told me that bring him on over, I'll talk with him. I told him about his situation there. I'm sorry if I'm being repetitious, but I was like elated. I was excited. I just dropped him off, right? After telling him that bad news, he told me, well, nobody's going to give him a chance because of his situation. That guy there told me that, well, he insinuated that he would if he gotten to know who he was, talking with him, and so I flew right on over back to his house. I picked him up, and I told him, hey, you're not going to believe this, but so I took him over there. We had a meeting, and the gentleman's name is Ladd. He's the innkeeper there, and he wanted to give him a chance, and his only concern was his CCAP situation, in the last several years, and so I had him look at that clean, and so I had some money on me. I gave led $330 for February. And then he needed some more money, so I lent him some more money for deposits. So I did that for him. And last week I lent him $200 and he paid me back, wow, a day later, when I didn't expect my money back, like a week or so, you know, so that was a pleasant surprise. And so he has taught me that I can trust him. So I lent him some more money, so I'm not worried about it. And so he has the keys to his room.
Okay.
And he's very excited. I am very excited for him.
I think your time might be running out.
Yes.
I was just
So-
gonna
Yep.
jump that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, come on back up, Tommy, it's all good.
All right.
Yeah,
We're good.
okay. Again, we'll have a little discussion, you know, you've come here 3 times, we've approved you every time. And, you know, I remember the one time, I mean, you're not on probation anymore.
No.
You still reach out to DOC when you had questions. Not a
If I
lot of
did,
people
yeah.
did that, so.
Right.
I have no concerns with this location at all.
Tommy's a good guy, hasn't been in trouble in 30 years.
Yep.
We've proved it every time he's come before us, so.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you
Oh,
got something
no,
else
I
to
was
say?
gonna make a motion.
Oh, go right on ahead.
I move that we approve Tommy Rhodes to reside at 1613 Bodart Street.
16,
Six.
17?
Thank you.
17.
Oh, okay, this says 13. Is it 17? 1617 Bodart Street.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
Second.
second them. Oh,
okay.
Fight
All
over
in
it.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nope.
Okay,
you're
thank you
good.
so much.
All right,
Thank you.
good luck.
Oh, yeah, I think he had 613 in his application.
Yeah. Okay, the next appeal is it Gian Cantu?
Gianni.
Gianni. Okay, come
Full
on up.
disclosure, Gianni was a customer of
Thanks
mine
again.
about a
Thank
year
you.
ago. I know Gianni, but I can be impartial with this.
You can?
I can.
Okay, so, let's see here. Yep, okay, so you also were here back in January of last year, and at that time, we approved you to reside at 1831 August Street, Apartment 4. How come you want to move?
The landlord is asking us to move. He had a falling out with my girlfriend, so
Okay. All right. Again, we have some new board members. I'm not sure if you read when he was here last, or if you would like him to repeat it.
I did read some of that, so I would also like you to repeat it, just so I'm getting it firsthand from you.
of course I
Thank you.
fully understand.
Okay, so again, when you tell us about what you were convicted of, please make sure you don't state the victim's name or the relationship.
Quick clarification, the term girlfriend, is that acceptable to use?
That's okay.
Okay. It
Yeah,
kind of messed me up last time, sorry.
sure.
Back in 2012, I was 17. Me and the victim were dating at the time. I was not aware that she was 15. We had met up. We were visiting with one of my exes for a little bit. We left there around 9 o'clock. She then told me that her parents had locked her out of the house for that evening. They went bar hopping. I simply called my mother, asked if it was okay for her to spend the night with me. She said it was fine. We went back to my place. I introduced her to my mother, my younger siblings. From that point, I went downstairs with my girlfriend, or victim at the time. We smoked weed, went upstairs. My memory of it is a little hazy from said marijuana, but yeah, we had sex. I do not recall her telling me to stop, but again, with the hazy effects of the memories, I really cannot say whether or not she did. And because of that, I still feel guilty. The simple fact that I cannot recall my actions makes me feel less about myself on that. I was then arrested, convicted of second-degree sexual assault to a minor under the age of 16. Again, at the time I was 17. I thought she was as well. I was sentenced to a year in county jail, 5 years on probation with a 10 in and 10 out state and imposed sentence. Me being 17 still, once I got out with the 9 months with good time, I was still quite immature, didn't really realize that this was serious. I got a few jobs trying to at least make it look acceptable to probation. I started dating a 22-year-old. She had minors under her care as well. Yeah, when me and her broke up our relationship, and that is then when she came to the attic facility where I was staying at with minors in the vehicles, and proceeded to, that led to the spiral to the ATRs and revocation. While I was in prison, I completed my SO treatment. Sorry.
Hold on. Are you?
Yes, that's,
Okay.
thank you very much.
I should explain to you guys, so we always have a representative from the Green Bay Police Department that usually will have access to the criminal complaint. So we'll confer with Captain Opperman that what Mr. Cantu told us is correct, or if he has a different version of the story.
Yeah, I got the criminal complaint, and, I mean, he states that he doesn't remember. The victim in this case states that it wasn't consensual, that it was forced at times with injury to her neck. There was one count that was related to an incident the night of, and then it looks like they fell asleep, and the next morning there was another incident where there was sexual intercourse again, which ended up being count 2. So it doesn't really talk about his side of events, so I don't know how the police got involved and when they spoke to them, what was said.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I know you wanted to start talking about your treatment, but you know, you do have the
Before-
opportunity to go in closed session or remain in public.
Before I proceed to talk about my treatment, I would like to state for the record that the second count was dismissed and read in.
Okay.
And I am perfectly fine with it still being public. I have come to terms with what I did. I know what I did was wrong, and I don't feel that I should continue to be feeling too shameful over it. I feel like everyone else, I should be able to move past this and continue with a better life.
Okay. All right. So, would you like to hear about his treatment?
Yes.
Okay.
During the 10 years of incarceration, I completed SOT treatment, as well as Thinking for Change for the Cognitive Intervention Program. I also did another Thinking for Change program, and this one, I don't know if they meant it to be anger management or AODA, but I still went through with it. I took everything they were teaching me, even if I wasn't able to apply it directly to my situations. I still took the tools and saved them for later in case I could use them for a different situation.
Thank you.
Can you just confirm with us when you did get released from prison, the last time you were released from prison?
January 3rd of 2023.
23?
Yes.
Sounds right.
Did you stay at the TLP for a whole year then?
I was able to stay there for about almost 5 months, a little more than 5. I was having a hard time trying to get everything put together. The prison system did not want to do back surgery, which I actually needed. I wasn't able to get that done until after, it was a bit of a hassle.
Okay. And are you working right now?
Yes, I am currently full-time employed at Hometown Cafe and Catering on Mason and Fisk.
Okay.
I've been there for about a year and a half. It'll be 2 come July.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the landlord that's willing to rent to me is the brother to the person who signs my checks.
Okay. All right, you guys have any other questions?
Move to approve address specific.
Okay, is there a second on that?
Second.
Oh, okay. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you're approved to reside at 2581 Trojan Drive, number 204. If you do decide to move from there, you know you gotta come back.
Of course.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Gianni.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Captain Opperman. Okay, is there any other discussion we have to have?
I have
Oh, yes.
a question in just a minute.
We'll be on public record, just so you know if you ask a question.
Okay,
Do.
We're gonna adjourn and then ask it.
Yeah.
we should adjourn.
Okay, all right, so then our next meeting is scheduled for March 19th, 4 PM. And then if we can just get a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor? Yep, oh, yeah, good. Aye,
Aye.
okay.
So I missed a can too.
Stop the recording.
Recording stopped.